Hello, I'm teacher Ivan from Wuna Educational Services, a teacher of mathematics and physics at Angel High School, Namaswa. In today's video, we shall be looking at measurements in physics, and under measurements, we shall look at two quantities or two physical quantities. That is, we shall look at area and volume. Under area, we shall look at the definition of area, we shall look at the units of area and how to convert the units of area. And then under volume, we shall look at the definition of volume, we shall look at the units of volume, we shall look at the instruments that we use to get volume. We shall also look at the conversion of units of volume, and lastly, we shall look at how we determine volume. So, to start with area, area is defined as a two-dimensional space occupied by any object. When I say two-dimensional, I mean when I place, for instance, a box of chalk on a table, you realize that it is one face that is in contact with the table. However, the dimensions of that face are normally the length and width. So, a two-dimensional space occupied by an object is what we call area. And area is categorized into two. We have what we call cross-sectional area and the surface area. Cross-sectional area, that's when we get the area using two dimensions. That is length times width. However, if we are looking at the surface area, we shall consider all the faces or all the sides of the object. For instance, if we are looking at a box has 6 faces. So to get the cross-sectional area of a box, we shall consider the area of one face. But to get the surface area of the box, we shall consider all the faces and get their areas and add them to get what we call total surface area. So those are the two types of area. We have the cross-sectional area, and it is normally for the two-dimensional figures like a square, rectangle, circle, triangle. But the surface area is always determined for the three-dimensional figures like a cube, a cuboid, a triangular prism, a pyramid, and so on. So that is area. We look at the units of area. Since we are saying that area can be length times width, and the SI unit of those is meters. So since we are multiplying meter times meter, we shall get meter squared. And therefore, the SI unit of area is meter squared. However, we have other units of area, just like we have them for length. We shall have kilometer squared, we shall have hectometer squared, decameter squared, decimeter squared, centimeter squared, millimeter squared, feet squared, among others. And therefore, let us look at how we convert the units of area from one to another. However, before we look at how to convert, we must also have the idea on how we get units of length, because from the units of length is where we shall get units of area. So In the previous lesson, we saw that we shall use the formula of King held your daughter milk drunk cold milk. That is and now, if I want to convert from one unit to another, I will use this formula to determine the equivalence. For instance, that is one kilometer is equivalent to 100 meters. Then, what about 1 kilometer squared? Because we've seen that area is expressed in terms of square units. So, if I'm to square this side, I'll also square the other side. So that I get 1 kilometer times 1 kilometer, giving me 1,000 meters times 1,000 meters, hence giving me 1 kilometer squared equaling to 1 million meters squared. So that is how I'll express my units, meaning that 1 square kilometer is equivalent to 1 million square meter. Also, I'll also look at the equivalence of 1 meter in terms of centimeters. That is 1 meter. So meaning that 1 meter is equivalent to 100 centimeters. Then what about 1 meter squared? I would say this is the same as 1 meter times 1 meter, which is equivalent to 100 centimeters times 100 centimeters. So that gives me 1 meter squared being equivalent to 10,000 centimeters squared. So now I have the equivalence of 1 meter squared in terms of square centimeter. So I can now change any given meter squared to centimeter squared. However, this is when I'm changing from a bigger unit to a smaller unit. But if I'm changing from centimeter squared to meter squared, then I'll divide it by 10,000. The same applies to when I'm changing from meter squared to kilometer squared. I'll divide my values by 1 million because I'm changing from smaller units to bigger units. Therefore, I divide. If you want more on how we convert, please scroll down, go to our playlist. We have Senior 1 Physics Calculations. We have those conversions. Conversion of units of length, units of area, units of volume, units of mass, among others. So please, go down, find them, go through them, get the concept. Otherwise, that is all about area. And I request that we look at volume in our next video. Otherwise, I'm teacher Ivan from Wuna Educational Services and a teacher at Angel High School, Namaswa. Please try to catch up with all our lessons so that we learn together simply by subscribing to our YouTube channels, joining our social media groups, and following us on various platforms. Bye-bye.